Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. As the breaking news story here on eNCA, Advocate Malesela Teffo has been disbarred or removed from the role of legal practitioners. Of course, a curator has also been appointed for him and he's expected to hand over his certificate and all his qualifications after today's judgment in the High Court in Pretoria. He has been described as a delinquent person with delinquent aspersions about the President and the Minister of Police. Let's go to Heidi Giokos now, who can give us more details as to what happened. She was following proceedings. Heidi, of course, this is huge breaking news. We only knew, for instance, about what happened during the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial and what he did there, dropping the F word, etc. in court. But I believe that there was more evidence there today suggesting that he's done everything else that didn't show decorum in other cases.
Yes, certainly, Masego. There were 22 complaints that were lodged with the legal, the LPC, and this, of course, was brought forward to the court, where the court has made considerations and, of course, handed down judgments. What's interesting, though, is that Malesela Teffo is not in court today to hear his judgments and to hear how he has been struck off the role of legal practitioners. But let's get more clarity. We are joined by Johan van Staden. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. You are the director of Gauteng LPC. Maybe just speak to us about this judgment, quite scathing, being struck off the roll and, of course, being found of misconduct and misappropriation of funds.
Yes, that's correct. The court, in delivering the judgment, has referred to the multiple number of complaints lodged with the LPC, and the court clearly regarded that to be of a very serious nature. The court made remark pertaining to him having been dishonest. The court referred to some of those complaints, for example, where he has misled the court. Also, the court has referred to his conduct before judges and other courts, where they also found that that is disrespectful. And then in relation to him having received monies from clients, having failed to account for those monies and also having failed to execute his mandate, the court found that indeed there is misappropriation of funds and that would be theft. Interesting that the court even is of the view that the manner which he has failed to account, that would constitute theft, although that's not within the realm of the court, but they've made mention of the seriousness of his failure in having accounted for those funds.
The Justice spoke about the endless list of money that had been taken by Teffo from a number of clients and not rendering the service and providing the service to the various clients. And she spoke about how it is the court's responsibility to protect citizens and to make sure that legal practitioners, of course, do what they are supposed to do. The court has also described him as a very dishonest man, and his conduct and decorum as a legal practitioner is not one or fit for the legal fraternity. You must be quite satisfied because you had brought this application forward because of the number of complaints that you had received.
Well, that's correct, and I think as the court has clearly indicated, since a practitioner is an officer of the court, it's for the court to pronounce. The Legal Practice Council, as a regulator, is to present the facts to the court, to present argument as to why the LPC, as a regulator, is the view a person is not to be regarded as fit and proper as a person to be a practitioner. But at the end, it's for the court to find whether the court is in agreement. And clearly, considering the nature of the judgment, the court has indicated that, considering his conduct, that certainly here is a danger and that one should protect the member of the public against such a person as a practitioner.
So we understand that a curator has also been appointed, and this has got to do with his bank accounts, but also he needs to hand over all his certificates and legal documents showing that he is a legal practitioner. Do we know timeframes and what happens moving forward?
Yes. So firstly, he is required to hand over his certificate of enrolment. There's a specific period in which he has to present it to the court, failing which the sheriff can be instructed then to take possession thereof. Then there's also a curator bonus appointed. In this instance, I have been appointed as a curator. I am therefore in a position now to take control of the banking accounts that he used for purposes of receiving the money from those clients, and then also in general in relation to his practice. That will then entail that one will start with the process to determine where those client files are, and then to take that into possession and then to liaise with the clients in that there are no instructions, and those matters will not receive any further attention.
Okay. Sorry, just one last question. He's not in court today. He was not here to hear this particular judgment. But what's also interesting is that the court found that he was unable to provide any supporting documents to prove that this is not true about him, and that he did not just take funds from people without rendering services. How important was that in terms of bringing your application forward? Because he, according to the court, he was unable to prove that, in fact, these are, he kept saying that this is nothing but an attack on him.
Well, clearly, when he appeared before this court, he did present argument and he disputed, but as the court has indicated today, he did not present any evidence. So he just simply disputed as if there is no merit, but he could not present any evidence to court to allow the court then to place a value other than what is being placed before court and what is being alleged by not only clients but also pertain to his conduct in the courts.
So just lastly, he's not allowed in the courtroom as a legal practitioner.
Yeah. Having been removed from the role, he is not allowed to appear in court to represent the client in any court. As a legal practitioner, he's also not in a position then to consult and to give advice to any member of the public as a legal practitioner.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. That is Johan van Staden, who is the director for Gauteng LPC. And as you heard, Masego, Malesela Teffo will not be allowed to practice as a legal practitioner. He's been struck off the roll. And of course, he has been appointed, that is Johan van Staden, as the curator that will take over the bank accounts that he used to receive money from clients that apparently he did not render service to. There's a list that goes on and on. We'll receive the full judgment now to get a comprehensive figure and just determine how much was actually taken.